Hi ladies. Okay, here is the lovely pop-up flower pot card. So it just folds up and that's just the band that goes around it, and it fits nicely in an envelope. Just realised I got my pink jumper on again. Shows that I always like pink. And this is my go-to at-home jumper. So I guess it's one step above pajamas. Okay, so I did tell you in the video that you would need some foam dots, or you know, that can be strips that you can cut them down, and the little glue dots as well. Just makes it easier to build it. So we're going to be jumping around to allow things to dry before we can move on. So what we just need to start with is the two squares. So we're going to just glue those together. Now I am using the Tombow this time. I've just found with the liquid glass, and don't get me wrong, I love my liquid glass, but I have found with the Tombow that it dries clear. So you know, with the liquid glass, if it goes over the edge, it leaves that shiny look, so you can actually see where the glue is. So I've been using that. I probably like the green one more than the blue one, because even though they're both wet glues, I guess the white one's just a little bit more thicker than the clear one. The difference between the two of them is that this is permanent and temporary, so you just got to be careful when you're using it, that particularly if you want permanent glue, that you need to put your two pieces of paper together while it is still wet, because if it starts to dry, it won't have that permanent adhesive. So we're just going to put that aside for a moment while that sort of just dries a little bit, and then we will jump to the belly band, which is this the long blue piece. There's 3 blue pieces, so we want the long one, and we're just going to burnish where I've scored them, and that's obviously the belly band. That's what's going to go around there. So you can see that it overlaps. So we're going to just put a little bit of glue. What I find with the overlap, it's easier if you put glue on one side there and glue on this side here, and then just sort of, we know that there's a bit of an extra overlap, so about that much. So then when you place it down, this is going to stick to here, and this one will go to there, and so you've got that perfect lot of glue that's fixing both sides. So you just got to be careful once you've glued it that it doesn't stick together. So we're going to put that one aside now while that's drying. And now this one should be dry enough. Now if you don't have a scoring board, this is 4 by 4 inches, so we want to score it in half, so at the 2-inch line. So if you don't have a scoring board, you could probably use your scoring knife, or even the tip of a pen that's not out, I guess, to try and get that mark, or you could just sort of fold it in half and try and judge it that way. But I find that this is a great tool to use even if you don't have a scoring board as well. But I have that, so I'm going to score it at 2 inches. So just going to fold that and burnish that as well. Now the other thing that we're going to do with this piece is we're going to round the corners. Now if you don't, most crafters have corner rounders in their craft boxes, but if you don't, again, you could just use scissors just to gently cut around the edges. You could probably, you know, pencil lines in to try and get them even. It will just be easier to get the belly band over with the rounded edges. So I'm just using one of my old corner rounders. Okay, so we want the next size blue piece, and we're going to burnish that as well. Just working out which way I want it. It doesn't really matter in reality, is because no one's going to see it. So what we're going to do is get a ruler and a pen, and we're just going to mark 2 inches in the center. You can see that, so it's just a center mark. And then I'm going to get the Tombow, and we're going to put a square in there, and well, not a square, is it? It's a rectangle in there. Careful not to get any on the score lines in the middle there as well. And then we're going to line it up. That middle score line there is what's going to go in the score line of the square, and we're going to try and center it up the best that we can. There. And then we're just going to press that down, and then fold that in half and just give it a bit of a squeeze and a squash. Make sure that the glue hasn't stuck the little flaps there. And then we're going to set that aside while it dries quickly as well. Now the next pieces that we're going to need are the 2 craft paper, the 2 brown ones. And again, these have got score lines already on them for you. Okay, so this is going to become your pot. So we want it to have that curved look about it. So again, use your scoring knife to get that nice roll on it. Again, if you don't have one of those, you could probably use a pencil, which I don't have here, but you know, just fold it, roll it that way. And we're going to do the same for the smaller piece. You don't want it rolling too much, like ribbon. And then we're going to stick it together. But it'll still keep that roll. Now again, like we did with the belly band, is that I put a little bit on that side and a little bit on that side, and then squash them together. So you want to make sure that it's flat like that. So we'll put that one aside, and then we're going to do the same with this one. So we want a little bit there and a little bit, sorry, there. And we're going to stick those together as well. And we'll just put that aside to dry as well. So while we're waiting, we're going to go to the two plastic pieces that you've got in your kit as well, and they're going to be the supports that hold the flowers in position. So one has two score lines on it. Now it's going to be really difficult to see. Let me stand up so I can see the camera. Maybe get some black cardstock. Does that help? No, not really. But you can get you can see it too a little bit. Very tricky. So we're just going to burnish that as well, because plastic is just a little bit not as forgiving as paper. And then we want to burnish that one. Now with plastic you can't really use glue. I did try it with liquid glass, but it's really just plastic on plastic and it just peeled apart. So I found the best way to stick them together is with the glue dots. We might use a couple more. One more, I think. And again, no one's going to see these, but you want it to stick. Okay. So we're going to bring the square piece back now. And it hasn't folded flat. This is most annoying. So it's still a little bit damp. So I'm going to have to add some more glue. Let's try that again. So it needs to dry flat. Okay. So, obviously the seam is going to be the back of the flower pot. And what we will do first, and we've got a seam on that, so that's the back. So we're going to add the rim to the pot first, and then we're going to join it onto the card. So I did mention that you needed the foam dots, and this is what it's for. It just makes it stand out like a pot rim does. So we're going to put one on the back. I love these foam dots. They just, it beats you know, cutting strips all the time. And it comes in, you get 2 sheets of the small size and a sheet, 2 sheets of the bigger sizes as well. Love them. So we're going to stick the back on first. So just take the sticky off that. So this is where sometimes you need more than 2 pairs of hands. So we want to line the joins up, not the joins, the folds on the sides here. Now it's slightly bigger than the pot, so we just want to try and center it the best that we can and stick the back on like that. So that's in place, and then that makes the front that much easier to then line it up. So then you've got your pot. Put that aside. Okay, so back to this one, the base. So you've got these flaps up here. Now we're going to put glue on these 2 pieces here. Again, just a rectangle. And a rectangle there. Now if you keep them well folded down, they're a little bit easier to control. So we're going to squash the pot round so it goes around those 2 flaps. Hopefully you won't get my head in so I can see where I'm lining it up. Now we want to put the creases that are in the pot, join that up with the crease of the folded square, because when it folds up it's all going to fold nice and neatly. Center it. It looks pretty good. It just might take a little bit of wriggling, and I apologize for my head. And then we're going to stick it to the back and then to the front of the pot. See that? So then when it folds up, it's all nice and flat. So we're just going to press that down again to make sure that it's adhered. And so then you've got your pot attached now like that. Now it's easier to work with the belly band because it'll just keep it flatter for you. So just slide that on, and then it just slides underneath the pot a little bit like that. Okay, go back to your 2 clear pieces. So we're going to adhere this to the inside of the back of the pot, and this to the front of the pot, and that's going to be our upright for one of our uprights for the flowers. Again, it's plastic, so use the glue dots as well. So we might use, because it's all about your strength, so we don't want it to come off. So even though we say less is more, we're going to go, we need more, because we don't want it coming off, because it's going to be open and closed all the time. So we've got 3 of the dots on the back, and I'm going to stick it about 1/2 inch down, and then we're going to put 3 little dots. I love this, the I don't know what the tool's called. I call it the poker tool. This is an old one. We do have a new one that has a wooden handle on it. So we've got 3 there, and then we're going to stick that about 1/2 inch down as well. Push those so they're well and secure. And then with this piece that we made, it's going to stick inside that piece that we've just put in. So again, we'll put 3 dots on. And we might take the belly band off, so it just makes it a little bit easier. Now we're going to put it on at an angle, because it gives a little bit of symmetry to the flowers when we're putting them on. So we can take it off if we need to move it, but it needs to be higher than the top of the pot, because you don't want it to get caught in the pot. Just adjust the angle a little bit. I think it should be okay. So, and then we're going to put 3 dots on the other side. And we'll just squash that down. So you've got your round pot, and I think we just might lift that up just a tad more. It's about getting the structure right, so then it will just flow when it opens. Okay. Now to add some flowers. We're going to use glue dots again because we're still going on the plastic. and we're going to add one up here. Now what we need to do is we need to grab our envelope, because we need to make sure, and I have given you slightly bigger envelopes than what I normally use for my card making, just to give you a little bit more room with the flowers. So I did jump ahead. We need to put the yellow circles in the flowers. So I've used some of the new wisteria purple. I just love that color. Now our cardstock is two tones, so if you like the other side, a lighter side, the same with the yellow, that's canary, so you can go lighter if you don't like darker. I like bright. I always tend to go back over once I've glued things down, just to give an extra press to just, because sometimes you glue things and then it sort of just releases a little bit, so by going back and pressing it again, it sort of adheres it. So we've got our 6 flowers, 3 for the front, 3 for the back. So put those up there. So we've got our card sitting on our envelope, so we can keep an eye on that it's going to fit in the envelope. And we've already got our glue dot up the top here, so we're just going to place it so it is within the envelope. And then we'll go red. So next one we need another glue dot, and we're going to stick that on that side. And we'll stick that under the wisteria colour. Again, we want to keep within the parameters of the envelope. And peach. On there. Under there. And then we're going to turn it over and put the other 3 flowers on. And we might go red up top. one under there. And we'll put the wisteria one over here. Now if you feel you want, you know, more adhesive dots, you pop them on. And then I've included 4 leaves just to give it some extra colour. So I'm going to work on the front first. The belly band on so we can see how it's looking. And I guess that's where you can finesse it a little bit. Okay, so we've got the front. And we're going to, so in between the 2 flowers is where how we're going to tuck it. And again, just be careful. Oh, I've gone and stuck that on the wrong end. Well, it doesn't really matter. On this end, just a little, the tick up this leaf. So we want to go between the 2 flowers, the front and back, and just tuck it in. Again, just be careful of the height. I glue on my fingers. I use a little bit of an eraser. I love this tool too, the erasing tool. It takes off any extra sticky glue. So put another one. Running out of glue dots. Stick that in. There. And then there. Now the one down the front here, I tried to be specific where I put it to cover the clear tape. So if you push it up a fair bit, and then it covers that. And if you realize that you've got some showing, you can either pull it around, or we're going to add the ribbon to the front, so it can always hide it that way. Push that down and then turn it over, and the last leaf will cover the back plastic. Slide that up. That. Turn it back to the front and glue dot. And I find if you put it on the flat part of the ribbon, so you've got a flat part on one side and the knot on the other, so if you put it on the flat side there, and then we'll just pop that there. What have I done? things not to do. Adhered it to the wrong leaf. So this is what you just got to be careful that, because it opens and closes, that none of the glue dots press through to the other side, because it will, when it's folded shut in the envelope, it'll be difficult to open. So we've got that. So we pop on our belly band, and there, and we've got our little pot plant. Now all that's left is Fabulous Friend. So we're going to adhere that to the blue cardstock. And then when we stick it down, we want to be careful not to stick the whole title onto the page, because the belly band is going to slide underneath Friend to help secure it. Now what I did was, because it makes it slightly higher, I used foam dots. So we want to basically put our foam dots under the word fabulous. So 1, 2, and then about that. I might take that off so we can center it. That. So then when you put the belly band on, it slides under the pot plant and under the word friend, and you've got your pot plant. So I hope you enjoy making it. I think it's a gorgeous little gift to send someone, and it's big. It's small enough to fit in an envelope. Australia Post might charge you a little bit more because it's fatter, but yes, just be careful that it fits within the parameters of the envelope, and it'll just slide in there nicely. And don't forget to put your belly band in. So there you have it, ladies, 3D pop-up pot plant. I hope you enjoy making it. Send me some photos. Can't wait to see them. Have a good day. See ya.